T-Mac made a statement the other day, and I'm going to answer after you guys answer. He said, if you switch him and Kobe out, as far as playing with me, the outcome is the same. You agree or disagree?
I disagree.
I don't agree with
Nothing
that.
away from nothing away from T-Mac.
Great player.
Oh, you not Kobe.
Yeah, and that mentality too.
I might have to disagree.
I don't know though. You know what my difference mine is though, big fella, is the mentality.
I don't think anybody was any more competitive than those two guys. So they were that all the time. That was their personality, and it meant something in practice or in a game. They were all business. They wanted to be great, not good. I mean, they wanted to win, but and they wanted moments. They were never afraid of a moment.
You don't think I could have won 3 with T-Mac?
Absolutely not.
As I'm sure you guys know, when it comes to NBA media that increasingly has more former players, more retired players in it, one of the big time symptoms of that is revisionist history and the rewriting of the narrative. As certain players in that media sphere will inflate their own accomplishments, downplay their failures, and for other guys, inflate their failures and diminish their success. And looking at someone like Kobe, we've seen that over and over again this summer.
All right, what about Vince? Me and Vince.
I feel like
3 in a row.
Nope.
You don't think I could have won 3 with T-Mac? I think I could have.
He's delusional.
So SHAQ right there is saying T-Mac and him, they would have three-peated. I really don't buy that. Yes, SHAQ at his peak was an absolute monster. In the year 2000, one of the greatest peaks in league history. But implying Kobe at any point during that run was replaceable, could be replaced with T-Mac, I don't buy. Saying they could get 1 championship, maybe they could. 3 straight championships, absolutely not. And if you want to look at their overall stats, numbers, heck, even their skill sets, yes, both T-Mac and Kobe at this point were walking 30 points per game. But looking at their players' games, their strengths, while similar in some respects, also vastly different. And one thing for Kobe no one ever mentions, he was a two-way player. Tracy McGrady simply wasn't that dude on both ends of the floor.
Everybody knew how good T-Mac was, but if you asking a question about him or Kobe Bryant, I don't know what team they was on. If he, obviously everybody's path different, but like what Kobe has, there was only one other player that's the greatest player in the world has.
Correct!
And looking past the defensive gap, also one big time gap is the gap in mentality and overall mindset. When every single player who played against Kobe played with Kobe said he was an absolute killer, that at the end of the day does matter. Someone like T-Mac, a fantastic player. Was he a killer or cutthroat competitor? I really don't think so. Kobe, his entire career, pre-prime, in his prime, post-prime, was a workaholic who only focused on basketball. Tons of NBA players are dedicated, work hard, they put in the time and effort to be a great player. But for someone like Kobe, his work ethic, his pursuit of greatness, even compared to the best players ever, it's a notch above.
I have to ask this guy, I have to understand why he works like that.
Right.
So after games, I'm like, hey, Kobe, why were you in the gym for so long? He's like, because I saw you come in. And I wanted you to know that it doesn't matter how hard you work, that I'm willing to work harder than you.
So once again, someone like T-Mac, was he a hard worker? Did he sharpen his skills? Of course he did. He was an NBA superstar. But even T-Mac compared to Kobe wasn't that hard of a worker and that possessed by basketball. Now, looking past the intangibles, at the actual tangible skill set, one thing Kobe had that very few players had was that clutch gene. And compared to someone like T-Mac, it's night and day. Look at 0-1 versus the Bucks in the first round. Tracy McGrady in the fourth quarters was pretty shaky. 7.5 points, 30% shooting, and from deep, 0% from the field. And in Game 4 at home, face elimination in the first round, McGrady in the fourth quarter, a grand total of 2 points on 0 of 4 shooting.
I think I can smell shite.
McGrady in the biggest quarter of the season was an absolute no-show, and for the entire series was pretty awful. Now the next year, 0-2 versus the Hornets, a very similar trend. Again, 7.5 points per game, sub 40% shooting, and from 3, he was absolutely abysmal. And looking at game 1 of that series, a crucial game, McGrady not only missed a go-ahead three, but a crucial free throw in the closing seconds.
Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
Now look at 0-3 versus the Pistons, almost an exact carbon copy of the series versus the Hornets, as McGrady once again, around 7 points per game, sub 40% shooting, and from 3 at around 20%. Tracy McGrady in 0-1, 0-2, and 0-3 was an absolute ghost in the fourth quarters in the biggest moments of the season. And that year in 0-3 versus the Pistons, not only had bad fourth quarters, but blew a 3-1 lead.
It's gotta hurt.
And to hammer this point home even further that Kobe and T-Mac were miles apart on their clutch gene, Tracy McGrady 05-08 in Houston was the exact same player clutch-wise that he was in Orlando. As T-Mac in Houston, 6.6 points per game, 38% shooting, from deep 28%, and from the line sub 70%. So that right there for Tracy McGrady, and about an 8-year sample size, is him in the fourth quarter not coming up in a single series. If you pair that guy with SHAQ, when the fourth quarter is very shaky, the Lakers from 2002, they simply don't three-peat. And look, I'm not saying T-Mac was a terrible player, never had great moments. Of course he did, he was a great player. The bottom line is though, he's not Kobe. And Kobe's skill set as a great fourth quarter player and a great defensive player, those paired with Shaquille O'Neal, one of the best duos of all time. T-Mac alongside Shaq, they might still be very, very good, even great. But for a 3-year run, they're not three-peating, as Kobe in that run numerous times, locked in on defense, and made crucial plays in the fourth quarter when Shaq either wasn't playing or couldn't buy a basket.
You know, if Phil Jackson is asking Kobe Bryant, who's worked on his game all summer to perfect it even more than it was, now he comes back and Phil's asking him to walk the ball up the court for the first 3 quarters of the game, and then, when they're losing, take over the game by himself because we're not going to get the ball to Shaq because he can't shoot free throws. He might even be on the bench next to me. No wonder Kobe says, no way.
And one thing I do want to hammer home, when you plug and play T-Mac with Kobe, say, they win 3 straight pretty easily, that ignores so much context and how hard it is to actually three-peat. As looking at the past 45 years in NBA history, only 2 teams in that stretch have actually three-peated. That of course being Jordan's Bulls twice, and the Kobe and Shaq Lakers once. For the majority of teams that go back-to-back, the three-peat is nearly impossible. And in that third championship, something always goes wrong. Magic 89 had the hamstring, Isaiah 91 had the wrist, Clyde 96 injured his shin, Pippen 98 hurt his back, the Bulls still won, Wade 2014, his knees were simply gone, and Durant 2019, his calf exploded, then he tore his Achilles. Even for a team like Golden State in 2019, who was absolutely loaded, them three-peating was not on the table due to fatigue, team chemistry, and Durant ultimately getting hurt and not being available. Looking at Kobe in 2002 coming out of back-to-back championships, this guy for LA was their healthiest player, most available player.
After they won in 2000, the next 3 regular seasons, you could really make the case that Shaq was like in second gear. If he was a car that was in fifth gear, or that could go to fifth gear, he was in second gear for, and really, especially the 2002 regular season, really egregiously mailed it in. And, I think that probably ticked Kobe off because he's got to carry a lot of the load, and you don't know if Shaq's showing up.
And that's the antithesis of the way Kobe operates.
For someone like Shaq post-2000, especially post-01, this guy was downright lazy and coasting the entire regular season. And looking at Kobe in 02, this guy not once was coasting or taking things easy, as Kobe in 02 played 80 games, amassed 3,000 minutes, and per game in the playoffs was just below 44 minutes per game. Things like being durable and not injury prone, playing through injuries, in these grand hypotheticals is never taken into account and 1000% matters comparing Kobe versus T-Mac. Now, my last final point comparing Kobe versus T-Mac, why T-Mac and the Lakers would not three-peat, is once again Kobe's fourth quarter play and great clutch time play. And once again looking at 02, Kobe in the West Finals and NBA Finals was LA's best fourth quarter player by a country mile. Both those series combined 9.0 points. Shaq 6.1. Field goal percentage just below 47%. Shaq a pitiful 34%. And look at this. Shaq from the line sub 60%. Kobe just below 90. Look, for someone like Shaq, even at his absolute best, he was a very, very flawed player, especially offensively. And by 0-2, his defense, just kind of being lazy on that end, had really kicked into high gear. So that right there is the end of the video, and I'll say one last thing. Comparing guys like Kobe and T-Mac, if you want to talk their skill, their talent, I guess their offensive bag, we can compare them all day long. But if you want to talk just championships fitting with a team concept, Kobe every single day of the week was the far better player. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.